Well, after last night, I thought I better get this thing ready for winter. For quite a while now, I'm not sure what's leaking. I know something's leaking in the radiator, but I can't find where. So most of the summer and stuff, I've added water to it. Well, this is what I drained out of it, and I don't know how well it shows up, but it's an awful light green. There ain't much antifreeze left in it. And we kind of lucked out last night. They had snow in the forecast, and they do have near freezing temperatures. There really ain't much down in the 30s, which I don't think it's going to freeze just to hurt anything. But yesterday they had flurries in the forecast with little nor accumulation through this afternoon. Well, last night they changed it to a winter weather advisory with up to 4 inches. Well, I don't know where it went. It missed us. We had a dusting on the truck and stuff, but it is to the point I got to get this done. So I drained everything out of it, and then like everything else, you do one thing, it just keeps accumulating. I started draining it, and then I remembered I did have a lower radiator hose for this, because I changed the upper one the one time, but they didn't have the lower one in stock, so I ordered it and got it later. But if you can see here how that's mushroomed out right here, it's getting soft and weak. This end a little bit too. So I thought, alright, well, I'm at it, I'll change the radiator hose. What I've been debating now is whether I should be pulling this radiator. Been thinking about this for the last several days, whether I should pull the radiator, go get it checked, and put it back in. Because these lines here, like this here goes to the engine oil cooler that's built into the radiator. And these lines are transmission coolers. And they go up into this here. So I thought, well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe I pull the radiator, go get that checked, go get new hoses, replace all these. 'Cause these are kind of hard. There's not much flex to them. They should be replaced. Like I said, I don't know what's leaking here. I've checked these clamps and it seals up for a while, so I don't know, like I say, whether clamps are weak or whatever. But so I thought, get that checked, replace them hoses. Hell, I got thinking, well, I ain't got time for it, and I really don't have the money. I mean, it ain't leaking that bad. I might put 2 quarts a week in it. So what I was going to do originally here was just dump some radiator sealant in there and see what that does first. Well, like I said, I'm thinking here, well, if I got to change the coolant, I really don't want to put fresh coolant in there with the sealant and then it not work and then still have to pull the radiator. But for what it's leaking, I think it'll be fine at least to get through the winter here. Worry about more to spring or if it gets worse. But while I'm changing this, I'm changing this hose. So I pulled these go up to the heater and the cap. So I thought, well, I better pull them so they all drain out. And then I got thinking, I got the coolant filter here, so maybe I ought to pull that too. I got to change that around. But so I drain these hoses out. Right now, I've had the coolant filter shut off, so nothing's going through it. Well, I pulled this hose off and nothing drained out. Then I pulled this hose, and then some drained out, be just what was in the hose. And something funny here, and look. Well, this valve is all gummed up and plugged up, and the hose is all plugged up clear back to here. A bunch of dirt, sediment, or what, I don't know. Maybe it's, I probably put radiator sealant in before, maybe it was all that. So I thought, alright, I was going to clean this hose out. Well, this hose is hard as a rock, and so I thought, well, the hell, I'll just go get new hose. So that's why I just come back, so I just put new hose on here. And this one here, I gotta either turn that clamp or something, probably turn the clamp so it's down to the bottom, because right now that's touching that hose. I'll get a hole in there. I gotta get something around this one, because this one's touching the clamp back there, so I'll be rubbing a hole in it, I should say. So, and then I broke one of the clamps here, and I didn't have no clamps big enough to fit this hose, so I had to run again to get clamps for that hose. So right now I got everything back together, and I'm ready to put the antifreeze in it. And I said I'll probably dump, I don't know what this holds. I'm sure it's going to hold probably close to 4 gallon. So I'm going to put at least 3 gallon in, start it up and run it, dump that radiator sealant in it, and then top it off. And it's probably going to take 4 gallon by the time it fills these hoses up. Now these hoses, I don't know how much they're going to fill up, but like I said, I'm bypassing the filter, because that's the other thing. I don't want to put, if I put the radiator sealant in it, then the filter's going to filter it out. And but I was going to change the filter, but this is, I don't know what's worse, people not working or getting people to work that don't know what the hell they're doing. I knew I should have taken the number off this, and I forgot when I went to Napa. Well, like I said, the guys don't know how to look it up in a book or how to look it up on the computer or something. So he couldn't match it up. So next week when I go up to Climber to pick up parts I ordered yesterday, I can get a filter then. And then, like I say, let it run here a little bit, see if it seals up. Filters the shit out, I guess. But yeah, this filters the coolant, and there is actually a pellet in here that dissolves. And I don't know if it's actually a water pump lubricant, but it conditions the, better close that, conditions the coolant so it prevents corrosion in your cooling system. Yeah, I better close that one and close this one over here, the radiator. And now, after I get looking here, maybe I should have went and got another upper. That one's starting to bulge out, but that hose ain't that old, and they'll get by with it, I guess. So, but yeah, so I'm getting ready here, because the last thing I need is cracking this block or something. But right now, I guess, just got to turn that clamp here yet. Everything else should be tightened up and ready to go. Grab my funnel. But yeah, yesterday I went up to Climber, ordered a new front panel for the manure spreader, because that's about ready to bust out. And I was up there, like I said, this is the piece that broke off the bar in the mixer. And this is how I fixed it so it stays in there for now. I took a 2x4 and cut a slight taper on the one side, and I stuck it in there and I just hammered it to wedge it in there. Now this one I didn't hammer in solid, but can't get it out. But all I need is enough to keep this from the other end of this bar, be this end, from sliding out and getting past the bolt that's holding it in, till I figure out what I'm going to do on this, because that bar and the 3 plastic wipers that are on it come to about $450. And I'm going to need 2 of them because both of them are broken there. So that's, you know, that bar is the full length of this mixer, and I don't know what that is, 10 foot, 12 foot. And then there's like $100 freight on it because it's over 100 pounds and it's over length. It's got to go truck freight. So, so you're looking around $1,000 for them 2 bars. And like I say, I don't have money right now to do that. So next thing I'm considering, because I don't really trust that wood in there. I mean, that could wiggle out, that could break off, and I'd be in the same position. So what I thought about doing is pulling them 2 bars out. I can get by mix and feed for a few days without them in there. Taking it to a machine shop, because I have no welding ability or a lot of tools I'm going to need. But get a whether I put these back on, you know, we could cut this back so it's flush back into good metal again, and get a piece of tubing that will fit inside there. You know, they can slide it up into the bar that's in the mixer yet, tack weld it in, slide this on, tack weld it, and then it would hold together and run. I mean, that'd probably be $200-300 maybe. I don't know what they would charge, but shouldn't be that bad. So right now that's the option I'm looking at doing on that. But like I said, the main thing I needed more than anything was this front panel on this spreader. It's $462. I thought about just cutting a piece of plywood to fit in there to act as a backing, but am I really any further ahead? So you can see that's rusting out there. It's all rusted through here. This is where that insulator is supposed to be bolted, so when you pull the rope, it pulls your control here. So, I mean, it's just all, it's like rotten wood, it's just punky, and that's what's going to happen to plywood. It's just going to get punky over time too. So I say, if I'm going through all that hassle to do that, I might as well just buy this piece. I mean, it ain't that bad. I've replaced one before. Got to take this off, and then you take these corner pieces, and there's roll bolts there, roll bolts on the other side, and it comes right out, bolts right in. I'm going to put this spine piece I made back in there to help support the new one too. But that's the other thing is, I don't know how much longer until this rips out. So like I said, this is the main piece of equipment I need to run, keep it running. So I'll go ahead and put the money into that one. That spreader's only 9 years old. And like I say, New Holland's really cheapened up their shit. It's 9 years old. I've already put an apron chain in it. I've already put an end gate in it. Now this panel, the sides are cracking out. So they don't last like they used to. But I gotta make it last at least through this winter. So right now I'm gotta get this coolant back in it because it gets dark fast. I can save that clamp. I said I put 2 new ones on, but that one's junk, just like the rest of this place. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can get filled up here and see what it does. Yeah, I got 3 gallon in it, and it's holding up in the top of the radiator, but like I say, these hoses are still empty. That one's gonna be full, but I gotta wrap that with something. Ain't no way to turn that so it's not rubbing. What I'm gonna do now is start this up, and I think it's gotta be warmed up to put this stuff in. But run that in there and hopefully seals up something. I got 1 more gallon or 2 more gallons of antifreeze left. They only have 5 gallon. So, and I picked up a battery the other day. That's another story for that white tractor. I should probably forgot about it, but what the hell? You never know what's going to be out of stock and stuff. Thought I had a bad battery, which it did test out bad, but I dropped it on the ground. They had to order that one in, so I had to put the old one back in to be able to mix feed that day till they got that one in, and the tractor's been starting fine ever since. So dropping it on the ground fixed the battery for somehow there. They get sulfide up and stuff in there, I guess, and that helps, or must have broke that shit loose. But yeah, let's see here, get this started. yes, I'm going this here. It's getting too long as it is. And it's going to take several minutes for that to warm up. Dump that in, get stuff flushed through so I can add some more to it. And I say hopefully this will hold together for the winter. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you later.